the truth is, these games are getting tougher and tougher and tougher. There's no team in the Premiership falling over at the moment, is there? I think there's been another positive result. Is it for Newcastle one day? And you look at how Worcester have done. London Irish have won the last 3 home games here. You're not going to expect teams to just fall over in front of you. And I think the good thing for us was that we didn't get too worried by that fact. We didn't get too worried by the fact that it was close at half time, and that we'd actually played a fair bit and not got a lot of reward for it. And I think that showed a really good quality for us, that we were prepared to battle it out. And I think moments like Don Armand's chase back for almost the length of the pitch and make sure that that's a tough conversion, and some of those things that we showed, they're qualities that a team that's prepared to really stand and fight show. And I think that's why ultimately we've come through in the end. It actually could have been quite easy to crumble under some of the periods of pressure and some of the things that happened out there, and actually we didn't. We kind of rolled our sleeves up and got on with things.
You said you weren't overly concerned even when you were trailing. What was it you always had confidence in?
The truth is, I'll tell you the truth. Whenever I see a team that's desperately trying to take all the tempo out of a game from the first kick-off, I tend to think we're going to do pretty well. And I think one thing, with London Irish, they literally tried to take every bit of tempo out of that game. They even had a guy stopping the ball boys, giving the ball to our hookers. And I think that kind of off the pitch antics to try and just take the sting out of a game and take all the tempo out is fine. And it did create a stop-start game, and if that suited London Irish, fine. But ultimately, I kind of think that a team are a little bit worried about it, as if all they're trying to do is stop us play and stop our tempo. And ultimately, I think that often creates positive results for us, because as a team, we know what the opposition are trying to do, and actually it kind of strengthens how we feel about what we're going to try and achieve in the game.
And heading into this one, it was back-to-back defeats. Obviously, no shame in losing Saracens also, but how important was it to sort of arrest that run anyhow?
It was massively important, isn't it? The truth is, if you get into the top 4, you've got to keep collecting points. Everyone can see the table is dropping into it. There's a mid-table group there now in the table, and they're all closing up on the top pretty fast. And it's becoming a couple of victories either way, and things are going to swing and change very quickly. We're really pleased. The truth is, we came here last season and we didn't win. We lost late in the game, and it probably, you could wrap it up as one of the reasons we didn't get in the top 4. So every time we can knock one of these games off, I think it just shows a very positive movement for us.
Was last year's defeats that you talked about in the build-up?
We talked about it a little bit, which is neither here nor there in a lot of ways. I think what we did, we talked a lot about games like last year here in our pre-season, and about they were definitely something in the consistency of our performances we had to address. And ultimately, a lot of fixtures like this will be like they were today, where they're ultimately a little bit frustrating, and not everything you try and do comes to plan. And like I say, the opposition get in your face and they knock you over and they rattle you around a bit. But ultimately, it's about not losing focus and keeping going. And ultimately, we've squeezed the game out there pretty well. And I think, to be fair honest, they have scored a length of the pitch try from stripping the ball, which again, a little bit like the last few weeks, we have conceded a few tries in some kind of rare ways of conceding them. We actually looked like we were really seizing the momentum of the game at that moment, didn't we? Our drive was getting going. Ian went and puts in a big carry, and it looks like we're busting our way forwards, and all of a sudden we're under our posts. And I think, but how we then managed that and weathered that and moved through it, I think showed a lot of good qualities.